Oh.
Doot. Is that might have fixed it. Now we have sound. We have sound now. I'm seeing a meter there. I'm seeing a meter. The meter says there's sound. The meter is green and yes, and we are live. Okay. Oh man.
We can't have sound now.
Now we can't have sound.
Now I don't want to play.
Now you don't want to play.
No,
now
I'm so tired. I'm very tired.
Oh, jeez. Now how am I going to record this now? I got to figure that out. Jeepers.
Oh.
Settings. Oh, man, folks. You got to say, it's been one heck of an evening here at the living room. Obviously, you've been waiting.
We had everything ready
for an hour.
Is it an hour? It's 50 minutes. I've seen Springsteen like 5 or 6 times, and he's usually like 2.5 hours late. Nobody gets mad at him.
Oh, yeah. Well, So, like I said, the other part of that is just...
I know why that happened, but we can't say it on live internet.
Right. Oh, maybe. Gene says, thanks again for producing the documentary. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you, Gene. Yeah. It was a pleasure to do so. Now without a little bit of headache, but I was glad to be able to do it.
Right on. Well, yeah, I mean, after that, should we take a little break, collect ourselves, and then come back?
Good night, Cleveland.
Thank you for coming.
Well, we got it now, Scott. Well, you got it, because, the extent of my help was giggling a lot and going, I don't know, man.
I thought we had power there. I thought we were all working.
The funny thing, like what you can't see if you're watching us, is everything looks like it's working, and you don't know that it's not working until somebody goes, hey, it ain't working.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was working.
It looked like it was going to work, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
And then it didn't, and it didn't, and it didn't, and it didn't.
I bet a lot of employers say that exact same thing about me.
He looked like he was going to work.
He looked like a good worker. I thought he was going to work, and then he didn't.
Oh, man. Well, they call that persistence, though. I mean, here we are, 7 o'clock at night. Anyway.
What else you got to do?
What else do we got to do?
I got nothing else to do.
Well, hey, I want to welcome you to a special edition of the Midwest Music Hour. We're live now from the living room, and you can see it, you can hear it, and we're happy about that. Doug Kroening.
Hey.
Welcome to the living room, Doug.
Yeah, there's cameras everywhere.
There's cameras everywhere.
Hold on, my people.
Oh, yeah. We'll get you on that one.
I want to thank everybody for talking shit about me while we were down.
This is the one time we can't talk back to us.
All right. That's all right.
You thought that he wouldn't see that, but he did see that. He saw that.
It's okay. I'm not mad.
Oh, no, I just, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for bearing with us. Obviously, that would have been just, I don't know, kind of whatever it takes type thing. So I'm glad we're up and running.
We were just saying, too, when Scott was, I mean, you got to give Scott credit. He was busting it to get this to work. But I said, Scott, how many times you been at a gig? You get everything all set up. You go to play your first chord and nothing. You got nothing. And you're like, oh! And you immediately start sweating. Ah! It happens. It's the audio gremlins. They'll get you every time.
Oh, yeah. And if it's not them, it's the other ones.
It's because the audio gremlins are mad at you for not playing something that them and their friends can dance to.
Play something we can dance to, man. Right?
You know, like anything we can dance to or something.
Well, I mean, it would just go to show. Like I certainly don't fancy myself an expert by any means. Now, granted, we've gotten a lot of experience over the last year, but even then, like, why does OBS not read the audio input? You know, why does the switcher not send audio through the HDMI like it's ought to? Why does it not send it out the USB like it's ought to? You know, why? Why doesn't the mixer get read as a USB audio device? You know, if you are just getting handed a camera and said to go for it, you know,
ready to go,
you might run into problems.
Here you go.
It might take you an hour to figure it out, you know?
No,
I don't know.
I was sitting here watching and I'm going, yeah, best thing for me to do is just nothing.
It does not compute.
I don't get it.
Well, anyway, like I said, it's a little desensitizing after that. You know, I had all my best questions all prepared.
You can still use them.
You were ready to rip away.
I played everything I knew when you guys couldn't hear. I was really good that first time around. It's usually never quite as good the second time.
Yeah, we had a really good practice session. Oh, man. Well, okay. So, yeah, I guess we kind of forego a lot of the formalities, but welcome to the Midwest Music Hour. It's a live from the living room session, obviously featuring Mr. Doug Kroening tonight. And why don't we finally just give him a song since we're up and rolling before anything else goes to shit, huh?
I think that's a damn fine idea, Mr. Kirby.
Okay.
Living in a world where compassion is gone, no one left you can't count on, open lonely roads. Trying to find a reason you should carry on, no matter if they're right or wrong, they're a heavy load. Trees are come and gone now, money ain't done sale, and all that's left is songs now. Lonesome lovers' games woke me up this morning with the morning dew. I rub my eyes and the thought of you. You're so far away. Remembering your smile in the summertime, image burned into my mind. Heavy price to pay. Trees are come and gone now, money ain't done the same, and all that's left is songs now. Lonesome lovers' games. Dreams are come and gone now, money done for sale, and all that's left is songs now. Lonesome lover's game.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much, Doug.
Yeah, I almost played it right.
What's the name of that one?
I think that one's called Lonesome Lovers Games. Actually, it is called Lonesome Lovers Games, and I wrote it. I wrote that song, gotta be going on 30 years ago. Gotta be.
That's
25 for sure.
songs as old as I am.
Yeah, I know. They haven't even dropped yet, Scott.
still hanging up.
You said I could say anything.
Just waiting. Just waiting. No, it's been cold, Doug, so.
Well, yeah, it happened to me twice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's all good. And I first saw you in person with a guitar at a Mickey Larson benefit in Wausau, where I was jamming bass for the Roadkill Express with Gary Breyer and Mikey Winowski.
Shit, yeah, you betcha.
Yeah, those were good days.
Yeah.
And fun nights.
Interesting. So, I mean, that's quite a few years ago already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I got to play with guys like Mickey. I tell you, Mickey Larson's first gig as a piano player, but professional gig, was for the Everly Brothers on the Dick Clark Rockin' Road Show. So So he's tooling around in his bus with the Everly Brothers and Chuck Berry and Fabian and Donovan and, all these old school rock and roll guys. And Mick had a story about everybody, and everybody had a story about Mick. But, excuse me, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I don't know that it's a really good idea for a 21, 22-year-old kid to be driving around the United States in a van with Mickey Larson and and a bunch of other old guys who at that time they were old guys, and now they were younger than I am now. But boy, you learned a lot of lessons, and you had a lot of fun. Let's just say that. By the time I was playing with Mick was a heavy drinker, and he had already quit drinking, which, based on his other behavior, was probably good. But I did. Mickey, I loved Mickey. He was a really, really good guy. Mickey used to tell me, always make sure that your socks match your shoes when you go to play a gig. Always dress at least a little bit better than the people you're playing for, because they're paying money or they're spending money to watch you. And there should never be any cords visible on the stage. And I'm sure I've broken all of those rules at least 5,000 times. But he was a great guy to learn from. Great guy to hang around with. Good times.
Sounds like excellent advice for anybody who's kind of getting going out there. And yeah, all those are very important elements of performance, and how the audience may see it and perceive everything is just as important as how you're feeling as a performer.
It was a big lesson in perception is reality. Perception creates reality. It was a big lesson in that. Man, we were in Columbia, Missouri on like a Monday night. And no matter where you went, somebody'd come up to Mickey and go, "Are you Mickey Larson? I thought you were dead." On a Monday night in Columbia, Missouri. I got to tell you, same thing. I thought you were dead. This is my favorite Mickey Larson story ever, and I got to tell it, and you're not going to be able to put it on the radio because there's a dirty word in here, but it's not the same without the dirty word, Scott.
Okay, all right.
So I'm originally, well, not originally, but I grew up in Spencer, Wisconsin, and we were doing a gig in my hometown with Mick, and coming up to the gig, an older musician friend of mine was like, "Kroening, I can't believe you're playing with Mickey Larson. I just cannot believe you've got to introduce me to Mickey Larson." I'm like, "Well, it's really not that big a deal." And he's like, "I used to go see him in Tongue was his band, a couple other bands, and God, I just worshiped. Everybody just worshipped Mickey, And he did. He had a big personality. He was a hell of a guy." So I'm like, "Absolutely, man. You come to the gig and I'll introduce you to Mickey Larson. I'd be honored to do so because this guy was a good friend of mine, old musician." So we're at the gig, we take a break. My buddy comes up and I take him over. I'm like, Mickey, I want you to meet my friend. And I introduced him. And my buddy's like, Mickey, I got to tell you, I've seen you so many times and you had this huge impact on me. And, blah, blah. And he just fawns all over Mick. And he literally had tears in his eyes because he was so honored to be meeting Mickey. And Mickey's looking at him and he's smiling and he's nodding. And my buddy says, it's just really an honor to meet you. And Mickey goes, well, thank you. I thought maybe you were going to tell me I fucked your mother. What? I'm like, Mickey, no!
Oh, man.
But he didn't mean it in a bad way. He was just making light of an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. That's great. I'll probably go bleep that. I'm going to use it anyway. Once I figure out how to snag the audio from tonight's performance, I'll
You don't need that audio.
snag that. Man, so that would that have been a Derailers gig?
No, that would have been the Mighty Aces. So the Mighty Aces was with Jay Stulo and I.
Okay, the guy, and he had some nice shoes, didn't he?
Jay always had nice shoes, man.
Yeah.
Jay is a monster guitar player. You can go look him up on the Face Plant. He's just a monster. Putting out, some incredibly good music. But him and I started the Aces, which was a blues band. And we spent a lot of time in vans. Bad things. Jay learned how to play. I learned bad things.
Nice.
I'm just saying. It's a true story.
Well, as they say, you don't get into music because you're a health nut,
No, I ain't doing it if I didn't do it for my health. It's a famous Levon Helm quote, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
I ain't in it for my health. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what that is? That's that tea that we made.
Well, we were kind of busy getting the audio running, Scott.
I'm trying to figure stuff out here. I would offer to fix you a cup, but it's behind you. So
Yeah. We got time, man.
we got plenty of time. Do you want to roll into another tune?
Yeah, I'll do another tune. What I did is I don't get to play a lot of these songs that I wrote, and I guess I could. But I spend so much time playing songs that you and your friends could dance to that I don't really get to play these. It's a really weird thing, if you're going to play your own songs, especially I think doing an acoustic gig, you got to kind of sneak them in. You sandwich them in between the songs that you and your friends can dance to. And hopefully, they keep dancing and you're okay. But I just don't play them very much unless I have a captive audience. And since you haven't turned me off yet, I'll play this one. Bobby Magini at the grocery store, tying his shoes by the cooler door. Took her down and dance at night, moving together under bright starlight, staring deep into each other's eyes. She walked to the home and kissed her goodnight. Said if this ain't love, then what can it be? Gotta be love if you're asking me. True love comes once in your life. That little girl gonna be my wife. Well, spending on summer down in Johnson Bay. Make you love all night, make you love all day. Walking together so close by his side. Well, she dreamed of the day she'd be his bride. Saved his money to buy a ring. All the boys down at the mill could hear him singing. If this ain't love, what can it be? Gotta be love if you're asking me. True love comes once in your life. That little girl gonna be his wife. Well, he got up his nerve and he asked for her hand. Down on his knees, too nervous to stand. Jeannie said yes, and she started to cry. But she told him she loved him and then told him why. She said, if this ain't love, then what can it be? Gotta be love if you're asking me. True love comes once in your life. That little girl gonna be his wife. It's another one written about the same time as the other one.
Nice. Yeah, I think, a lot of times people get into playing music and, any place that'll have you is kind of where you want to be initially. You just want to get out there. You just want to be playing, and when you're doing that for 20 some odd years of your life, it starts to take on a kind of a different feel.
It changes. It changes. Somebody told me, an old musician told me when I was very young, said, Kroening, when you start doing this, you do it for the glory and the women. And I'm like, yeah. And he said, but someday you're going to do it for the music and the money and not necessarily in that order. And I was totally offended, that he would say that. I'm like, I would never be that guy. He's right, and you don't know why you're doing it when you're doing it. I mean, there's some, it determines itself in the middle of the gig. Some gigs you're like, yeah, this is a good gig, and you may have a connection with a crowd, or maybe just a couple people in a crowd, and you're playing for the music. And other gigs, you just can't get that money quick enough, man. I mean, and I'm not saying that to be a jerk. I mean, I think that's really true.
Yeah, and I think, like you mentioned before, a lot of these songs that you've written, great songs, cool vibe. Yeah, certainly people could dance to them all night long if they gave them a shot. But the reality is that,
they don't know them.
They don't know them, and how can they dance and sing along?
They don't know the songs, and they do know you. So those are the two problems, right? So they don't know the songs, so that's a big problem. And they do know you, so it can't be as good as that guy on the radio or that guy on the MTV. Look at them yo-yos, Yeah. Because they know you, so automatically they disqualify you as not being the same caliber as somebody else. No names or nothing. That's just, that's true. How many people have you seen? Or people watching? How many people have you seen that are ungodly good? They're as good as anybody. But they didn't get the break. Tuck Pence? Are you shitting me? Tuck Pence should have been rich 100 years ago,
Yeah.
but he didn't get the break. It doesn't mean he's not as good or better than most other people you hear doing what he does. He's better than anybody you hear doing what he does, but better than most people that you hear on the radio, so to speak.
Yeah, if only they had such habits as like deer hunting and fishing and whatnot. I was going to say, if only they spent so much time on the ice.
Well, that helps. But, I drove up here today, man. You guys, like you and Tuck, you guys live up here in the North Woods.
Yeah.
I'm like, why in that? I could never live here. And it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against it. I think it's beautiful. But, I'll go sit down at the Whiskey A Go-Go and be just fine. I'm not I don't hunt, and I couldn't catch a fish at SeaWorld, man. No, I'm out, dug out. Nothing against people that love it. I get why you love it, but I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But, I think the mark of a good song, I think the things that have always hooked me on a good song, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's about hunting or fishing, if it's about feeling, if it invokes a feeling. It can be about anything if it gives you that feeling, and you got to have a good hook.
What, like the gynecological song? Is that...
First of all, that's not my song.
What kind of feeling does Oh, Carol's asking for that one.
Yeah, of course Carol's asking for it.
She gets a feeling from this song, apparently. Yeah. What kind of feeling does Carol get when you sing?
I made a CD a long time ago, and I didn't even put my name on it. And it was all just filthy, dirty songs.
Oh, yeah.
Just filthy, dirty. And this will tell you, because I had already had my own CD. And my old man, my dad, was like, Doug, nobody is going to buy that CD. Nobody wants to hear that garbage, And I'm like, oh, yeah. Dude, I would take 50 of those things to a gig, and I would sell every one of them at $10 a throw, I could not sell enough of them. I couldn't give away the real songs, But sing the gynecologist song or the motherfucker's ball and put that on a CD and you'll make a fortune, man. True story. I ain't lying.
Oh, the gimmick. It's the gimmick. Dave Drevis always says you got to have a gimmick. Got to have a gimmick song.
You kind of do. You kind of do. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Well, something for all occasions. You kind of you want to be prepared for anything up there, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. If you ever need a gynecologist song, Kirby, let me know. I'll hook you up. I know a guy.
Well, I look forward to exploring that.
No, you don't. Don't shit yourself, Scott. You don't. Hey, I tell you what. I just want to talk about something real quick here, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Absolutely.
Because I think it's important. And so I have a friend who I've known a long time. And we've never been like really close friends, but we've been acquaintances and we know each other. And a real good guitar player. And honestly, just like a really, really nice guy. Just a super nice guy. And a while back, he found out, or his family found out, that his daughter, who's 18 years old, had cancer, stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, which I can't even pronounce, but nowadays, you can't open up your phone or whatever without, hearing that story where it's about a kid, and it doesn't have to be cancer. It could be anything, And so I think after a while, you get a little desensitized But every once in a while, you get one that'll hit you in the feelers, and this is one that just hit me in the feelers. I mean, at 18 years old, she's 18 years old, a senior in high school, and at 18 years old, you don't even know yet, what the world's about to throw at you, much less, now you got to go to war with something that's tough, and I just felt so bad. So in the meantime, I had cancer, I think 16 years ago, maybe more. I don't know. It's not a date I really want to remember. And so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But I heard, they came out with these T-shirts for support. And you hear it a lot. It's a name and then the word strong. And you see it a lot. But this one, to me, it didn't sound like a cause. It sounded like a name. They took her name, Ashley, and they put strong underneath it, Scott, underneath it. So it was Ashley Strong. And to me, Ashley Strong sounds like a name. And I thought, well, what can I do to help out my friend and his little girl? I thought I want to write a song about this Ashley Strong girl. And so from me to Ashley, who I would assume is watching, this is a song from a fighter to a fighter. Head up at all times. It's a song called Ashley Strong. It goes like this. Take our lessons as they give them. We try and fail and try again. Push and shove, life and love, supplies the pleasures and the pains. And if by chance and not for wisdom, a harsh reminder comes away. Little girl in a great big world, fighting battles every day. Keep your humor and your hunger. Keep on pushing for the prize. Stand up tall and face the thunder. Oh, Ashley's strong, though the road is long. Don't you let them take the sparkle from your eyes. Every minute, all that matters is family, friends, and state of mind. Smiles and tears, dreams and fears, the times we've wasting time. So take this lesson as it's given. Pain and struggle come along. One little girl can take on the world with a warrior heart like Ashley Strong. So Keep your humor and your hunger. Keep on pushing for the prize. Stand up tall and face the thunder. Oh, Ashley strong. The road is long. Oh, Ashley strong. Don't you let them take the sparkle from your eyes. There you be.
That's awesome tune, Doug.
Thank you, sir.
I think everybody out there who knows Ashley is real feeling that.
Well, some things are important,
Oh, well, we certainly wish her all the best, and absolutely. As you know, you're a survivor yourself. It's a fight. You're going to war. You're at war.
Yeah, you're on an island.
Yeah.
You're on an island. There's a million people out there who are backing you up. They got you covered. They got your back. But ultimately, it comes down to you. It comes down to you versus that, So you are on an island. And all you can do is it's just as much in here as anything else. It's stand up tall and face the thunder. That's all you can do.
Absolutely. Well, and a great network, family and friends, obviously, is huge. Goes a long way. And I know that if this gal's got somebody like you in her corner, rooting for her, she's better off than most already.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the advantage is the age. When you're 18 years old, that's a hell of a lot different than when you're 52 years old. So, I got it covered like a blanket.
When you were, what? What was it that ever? What was it that made you want to pick up guitar?
Oh, geez. My parents listened to music a lot. I don't remember a time when I didn't think guitar players were the coolest people on the planet. I still think guitar players are the coolest people on the planet. Yeah, you can look at some people, and I'm not the world's biggest Eric Clapton fan. I think Clapton is great, but you look at a guy like Eric Clapton and just watch him with that guitar. It just looks natural. It doesn't even look like he's trying. Come on, man. Guitars are cool. Guitar to me was the only instrument I ever really wanted to play. I got a little older and I wanted to learn to play the piano till I realized how hard it was. Maybe I don't want to play the piano. And I'm not even a really good guitar player. I'm an okay guitar player, but I wanted to be a campfire guitar player, but I also wanted to get out and sing in front of people.
Well, you got some of them Tuck Pence licks down for that.
I should.
I recall, last year when you put that documentary together.
Yeah.
And I remember just watching that thinking, man, Doug is like getting them Tuck licks.
Oh, man.
Go, Doug.
Let me tell you what.
Those are not easy.
I had a girlfriend for a long time, and she had never seen Tuck. She had seen me play, 1,000 times, whatever. And I always talked about Tuck. I got to take you to see Tuck. I got to take you to see Tuck. I take her to see Tuck in about 35 seconds into the first song.
This guy can play guitar.
She looks at me. Yeah, right. He ain't so bad. She turns around. She looks at me and she goes, "Really, Doug? Really, Doug?" I'm like, I can't help it. That's how I learned to play. And it is literally how I learned to play. Tuck would play in Marshfield every other Thursday and every other Friday at the same place. So he'd play Thursday this week, Friday next week, Thursday next week, Friday next week. And I was there every other Thursday and every other Friday. And I'm 20, maybe 20. I don't really remember. But I would take a tape recorder. This is no bullshit, man.
Not a bootleg, a pocket?
I would bootleg it. I would stick it in my pocket, and it had a little red light on it, and I'd cover that some bitch up. And I'd go, it'd be like, "Hi, Tuck, do you think you can play Moon Dance?" He kind of lean in. And then I would immediately go home because I had never heard anybody play like that. I mean, I like a lot of the same music that Tuck likes, but we draw from completely different influences, you know? So all this, you know, all that. I don't listen to anybody that plays like that. I had never heard a guitar player, an acoustic guitar player, play like that. They all played. You know? So I see this guy and he's going. And I'm like, what is that? Jesus. So, like in the documentary, I talk about my head just exploded. I mean, it literally, I was just like, what is this? What is that? You know, to me, it sounded like 2 or 3 guitars playing at the same time. And I mean, it floored me, man. And so people go, "Well, did you teach yourself how to play guitar?" And I go, "Well, up to a point." And then Tuck Pence taught me how to play guitar. Now, Tuck never knew he taught me how to play guitar, but that's how I learned how to play, by listening to Tuck. You know, I got no problem with it. Even now, and I got to be careful how I say this because I certainly don't want to offend anyone, but even now, when I go see acoustic shows, when I started seeing Tuck, there was nobody else around, man. It was him, you know? And over the years, you can go see a lot of those guys. Some of them are good. Some of them maybe not, you know? But I just feel like if you're going to do an acoustic show, a solo show, you better have it together, man. You know? I've seen you got it together. Dude, I mean, you're one of the guys I could listen to you sing all day long. You know, I mean, you got a major good voice. Dude, I love the way you sing. You know, and Tuck's another one. I'm just about 40 years later, I'll go see Tuck and I'll just sit there and shake my head. It's still amazing to me now. And I don't see a lot of that. I see a lot of things that I disagree with. People doing things that I disagree with. That's entirely up to them. And I'm not judging anyone. If you want to go out and play, if you want to play a kazoo, go play it. I'm just saying, for my taste, you better be working. You just better be working. I mean, that's as far as I want to go with it, but because I don't want to offend anyone. I don't mean it in an offensive way. I just think if you're going to do it, if you want to learn how to do an acoustic show, you go watch Tuck Pence and you learn a lesson. You sit down and you learn your lesson. Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah. I was, I think I said something about how inspired is the performance, or how much does it inspire me?
Yeah.
Kind of on the same line there. You as a musician, as a guy with your history, you're going in to a live music venue with a totally different,
Oh, yeah.
Everything. And like you're saying, it kind of makes it difficult maybe sometimes, because you go out and you hear stuff, and maybe, whatever, everybody has their good days, bad days, whatever it may be. But yeah, if a person maybe isn't just oozing authenticity, or if they're so far disconnected, if you sense like what you think might be disconnection with the songs that they're doing, or whatever it may be, it could be a shtick.
Yeah. I mean, the art of relating to a crowd, to knowing how to talk to the crowd, that's an art.
Oh yeah.
And there aren't a whole lot of people anymore that are doing that. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here to see me. What is that? Connect. I mean, there's more to it than just going up there and playing 3 chords and having a pretty voice. That's just how I feel about it. If you only know 3 chords, you can still go up there and play and have a pretty voice and knock it out of the park. But there's more to it than that. And that's just my opinion. I'm not cutting on anybody. You do what you do, but because of how I learned to do what I do, I have an expectation when I go see someone else do it.
Absolutely. And sometimes it does. It makes it like less enjoyable to go out. Sometimes, other times you're like really surprised at what's going on, and it's a good surprise, not a
Right. Well, and you will. I mean, I guarantee you've seen people who are probably not very good, but you really, really like them.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you've seen other people who are really good, and they honk.
Yeah.
And we've all seen it.
Yeah.
Now, the difference is they both play Brown Eyed Girl. And I don't mean that in any other way other than the law is, if you play the songs that people know, you get hired. Doesn't matter if you play them good. It doesn't matter if you play them right. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. As long as you can do that, you'll get hired. I mean, honestly.
Up on the tables dancing, they were.
Yeah, you are the best.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Play it again.
Blue-eyed girl.
Oh. What about the green-eyed lady?
Yeah, right. And that's fine. And it's great that people love that song. But, Scott has, I have, Tuck has, everybody you go see has played Brown Eyed Girl more than Van Morrison has.
Yeah.
We don't want to play Brown Eyed Girl no more, man.
Yeah. And, and I think that's how he said it one night. He's like, you got to do it. If you don't do it, you're not going to survive.
Oh, right.
And there's a lot of truth to that.
I can assure you Van Morrison hates Brown Eyed Girl too. I guarantee.
I mean, his bank account doesn't hate it. But
No. His ex-wives love it.
Yeah, they're all. Oh man.
To me, it's the difference between. It's like rock and roll. My favorite kind of music is old rock and roll, 50s, 60s rock and roll. That's what I like.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy. You go see people play rock and roll. Right? And that sounds okay. But that ain't rock and roll. That's rock and roll. Right? What is that? That's the difference, You're just learning your lessons, man. So,
yeah,
those are the things that drive me crazy. I want I think everybody should play if they can, but if I'm going to see it, I want it to be raw and I want it to be real and I want it to be honest. I can't. We've all faked our way through a gig or two.
Yeah.
We all have.
Yeah.
At
least a few.
Yeah.
Some we haven't finished.
You can tell the people that are just faking their way through a gig and people who just ain't got any more.
Yeah.
But everybody's entitled to play. They're not entitled to charge as much as people who ain't faking, but they do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was I think the Jerry Garcia reference, every day he's out there playing for his life, and maybe they had dropped some acid or whatever, and he thought that the world was going to end if he didn't play the right notes. And of course, that's an interesting feeling to be on stage and feel that, like if you don't hit it right, you're going down, but.
Yeah.
But then, that just plays right into at least what I think is kind of one of the roots in terms of what you're talking about. It's, what are you doing up there if you're not playing for your life and if you're not fully connected to what you're doing?
I don't care about the wrong notes if you're playing them with conviction.
I mean, that's how punk rock got so popular, right?
Hey,
nothing against punk rock.
No, I know. Everything now has to have a disclaimer, Scott. But like, I don't want to offend anybody's sensibilities. Let me tell you something.
You really don't want to piss off a punk rocker, man.
No, Kurt Cobain wasn't such a great guitar player.
What?
He wrote catchy songs, man. That Nirvana, those are Beatles songs. The Beatles could have written those songs if the Beatles played really sloppy and loud.
Yeah.
But they're catchy songs. The fact that he wasn't a very good guitar player doesn't take away from the fact that he wrote some really good music.
And what a time that was too, back in the early 90s. I had another guy on the program named Doug, and he was referring to that time frame of almost like a resurgence of what we're kind of getting at in terms of authentic musicians, kind of the pomp and circumstance of the fast guitars, faded away. And
look at look what was going on before Guns N' Roses. Slash saved rock and roll there for a while. Yeah. But the record companies get it and they jack it all up, and then it takes something else to give it a shot in the arm. I think that's all we need now is a shot in the arm.
Yeah.
Less production and a little more talent wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, and it's kind of difficult to even think about that, in these times of pandemic, if you will, because industries are shut down, and even if you are, creating stuff at home or whatever it may be, I don't know. Somebody pointed out that it has kind of leveled the playing field in a way, but at the same time, you talk about walking into a club and hearing somebody who's maybe not fitting your expectation, but then you pop online and it's like it's exponentially
that you can find some stuff on there, man, but you can find some really good stuff, I think the good thing about everybody having to be online, particularly at first when the pandemic was young, and people were like, I can't get a haircut and I need to get out of my house, and oh shit, you've been locked up 2 weeks. Oh no. But so everybody was doing live streams then. But I do think the good thing about it is it does allow you, I did for years. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I'm not really going to go to the bar and watch a band guy. So it allows me to peruse the talent online. And you can, I found some stuff online where I was just like, what? Why isn't this guy rich, right? That guy should be rich. That guy should be rich. that guy should be executed. I don't really think anybody should be executed, Scott. I mean,
At least not for bad music, right? Please don't shoot the piano player.
Yeah,
He's doing his best.
He's doing everything he can, folks, see? Leave him alone, see?
Yeah, got the
It's going to be like this, see? He can't play, see?
He's going to be a big star someday, yeah.
He's been running around all day long.
What you queuing up there, Doug?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would like to play this one. So, I got a recording studio, went to my house. Just went in, and I'm still kind of learning how to use it. It's as I learned when Scott was fixing the audio here. It's over my head, but I'm making a record. You're making a record, kid. We're taking you in. You're gonna make a record. So record, by the way, is spelled REKKID. Making a record, and this is a song that I'm putting on it, and it's gonna. I think by the time I'm done with it, if it turns out like I want it to, it's gonna be a big production piece.
Nice.
I had it all set up. We were recording it before the pandemic, and I had people coming in with different instruments because the song kind of will build. I was literally trying to hire a choir.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It requires a choir.
You could just get one of those little foot boxes that gives you all the voices there. You could be a choir
I have a very
of Doug.
specific choir in mind.
Doug choir.
Well, I know. I did some recording
Tabernacle?
In Nina, in Appleton with Mr. Stulo, Jay Stulo. And there were 4 of us. And we made a choir in about 15 minutes. You just keep redoing the parts.
For sure.
But that's not what I'm looking for. No, I have it's all in here. So
such is the cool part of like the recording process. Being
and you can take your time with it and walk away from it. But what happened is my darling, 2 Decembers ago, or was it last? I don't remember. Yeah, it wasn't this past December. It was December before. She decided we should go on vacation. And she said, "Where would you like to go? I'll let you pick. Where do you want to go?" But it had to be in the United States because the state of Wisconsin and I had an agreement that I won't leave the state. That agreement has since expired, but I did leave the state, by the way. But I didn't leave the United States because I knew I'd get pinched for that. But I said, I would like to go somewhere rock and roll-y, somewhere that I read about, whatever, growing up. And I said, I want to go out to California, man. I want to go out to LA. I want to go to Hollywood. I want to see all them stuffs, And we did, man. And it was over my birthday. And she took me out there. On my birthday, I was sitting in the Whiskey A Go-Go watching probably the best AC/DC tribute band I've ever seen in my life. And I got my favorite California story. I'm not a fan of, but I am extremely interested in that whole helter-skelter Charles Manson thing. I've been reading about it forever. So we went and saw all those places. I was out at Spahn Ranch. I saw, where Sharon Tate lived, all that stuff. It was just really cool. The best California story, we had a rental car. My darling was driving. And we're driving through the hills, man, through the valleys. And it's gorgeous. If you've never been there, you have no idea. And don't listen to what they tell you. It doesn't smell like piss everywhere. And people aren't running around all willy-nilly. And there's not a tent on every corner. It's a beautiful state. Okay? And where there are tents and stuff, it's because even the homeless people are smart enough to go somewhere where they don't freeze if they sleep on the street at night. Anyway, we're driving through the hills, and I said, can we go see Eddie Van Halen's studio? Of course, this is before Edward passed,
Yeah.
And Eddie Van Halen's, the man. And so I get it up on my phone, and we're like a mile away from Eddie's studio. I'm like, whoa. Now, my girl, she likes, not the same music that I do.
Oh, no?
She likes, she likes that Irish rock, that herda stuff.
Like Dropkick Murphy.
Yeah. She loves that stuff. And I dig it, but I'm not like that much, And she likes real quiet, slow acoustic, one man, White Buffalo, the White Buffalo guy,
Yeah.
Really good stuff. And I've acquired a taste for it. But so she don't give two pinches about Eddie Van Halen's house, but she's humoring me because it's, she's taking me to California. I'm like, well, Eddie's house is a mile that way, and I got my horn, I'm watching the phone. So we come down this highway, and then there's a curve. And as we make the curve, there's a big, like a hill, and we go by, and it's like, you've missed, recalculating that thing. And I'm like, oh, it must have been back there. We can't go in there. That's his driveway. She's like, well, we're going in there. I'm like, we can't go in there. It's his driveway. She's like, we're going in there. Do you want to see Eddie Van Halen's studio or no? Yeah. So she turns around, and up this hill we go. And right at the top is Eddie's house, man. And you can't see the studio, but there's Eddie's house. And I'm like, whoa, that is Eddie Van Halen's house,
Yeah.
And you can kind of see people behind the gate. And you're like, who's that Eddie? I hope it's Eddie.
It might be Eddie.
And so you go up to the top, and he's like at the very top, and then the road goes left. And what I've found out since then is if you go way down, it's like his second driveway. Oh. He owns everything on that road except for one house. So you get to Eddie's gate, and you go left, and then very shortly past there's a little turn in to this other house. But the gate is really, really close to the road. So you can get in there, but just barely. And then the road is about a car wide. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So we're in a rental car, and we go by Eddie's house. And my darling, she's like, oh, my God, his gate's opening. And I'm in the passenger seat. I'm like, what? And I'm looking out the back, and we're whispering because we can't get caught. We're pulling a sneaker.
Yeah.
And she goes to turn around, and she pulls in that little driveway. Well, you can't go far enough ahead, to swing your ass in back out and come back toward Eddie's house.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the road is so narrow. So she does like a, and we're watching, and she's like, who's that? Who's that? I'm like, I don't know who it is. It might be Wolfgang's girlfriend. I don't know. And it's this little blonde girl. And in the meantime, my darling is doing the 32-point Austin Powers turn.
That's like how Tuck gets unstuck from a snowbank. Inch at a time, right?
And then we get out on the road. The girl's turning to walk back in the gate. And, of course, car we're not used to. And we're all, ooh.
Yeah.
And she smokes the tires a little bit and blows our cover. And we're just like, oh, snap, And we're laughing. And the girl walks in, leaves the gate open. So we do the drive-by, and I'm looking, whoa. And we start driving back down Eddie Van Halen's driveway out to the highway. And because we're laughing and feeling like a couple of dummies, she's like in the middle of this 1.5 car road. Yeah. And we get down to the stop sign, and we're talking about it. We're laughing. And we got to go left out onto the highway. And this little red car pulls off of the highway.
And it's Eddie.
Pulls in the driveway, and he's half in the grass.
Because you're blocking the road.
And he pulls right up to her window.
like, get out of the way.
Like right up to her window. And she's like, oh, it's like, and windows are up because it's California. You got your AC on.
Yeah.
And he pulls up and he's like, and a big smile and he waves. And I'm like, and she's like, oh, he was nice. And he pulls up into the driveway and the gate's closed. And I'm like, that was Eddie Van Halen. Oh, was it? So I get out the Google, you know, that was Eddie Van Halen. So now she tells everybody about the time we hung out with Eddie Van Halen.
That is awesome. Oh, man.
So anyway, this is one of the songs, and I didn't intentionally write this song about California. I wrote the music part, and it just, it kind of sounded like California to me. And if I do write a song, which I try not to very often because it causes me anxiety, but if I do, you know, I just play it and then I just kind of sing syllables and words and whatever comes out, and sometimes they stick. And this one just happened to stick. This is called California. And it goes like this, I hope. Rain falls and the thunder moans. Snow flies and the cold winds blow. Storm clouds all around you, everywhere you go. Looking for a sacred refuge to rest a weary soul. The sun always shines in California, and the sweet's always sweeter from the vine. There's love all around in California. California on my mind. When everything you needed just ain't worth nothing. Tomorrow ain't as good as yesterday. We're looking for a reason, some certain something. And you hear the ocean's winds call your name. The sun always shines in California, and the sweet's always sweeter from the vine. There's love all around in California. California on my mind. and the sun always shines in California, and the sweet's always sweeter from the vine. There's love all around in California, California on my mind. How you beat?
You call that one California?
California.
Beautiful. And that does definitely remind me of California when I hear your story about Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, dude, it was so
that
fun.
progression.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Yeah, we're going back out. Going back out in, I think, August.
Nice.
Ultimately, I'll end up out there. I mean, it's just, you know, not because it's California, just it's one of those things where you get somewhere, and I was just like, oh, yeah, this is, I've been here before.
Yeah.
You know, I was here before, and I really liked it, and I'm coming back. So sooner or later, you know, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, Scott. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, my friend. I'm going to California.
Going to California.
I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, you know, shop wise, open E tuning, demodal.
That is
what do you
that is an open D tuning,
Okay.
but I capo it to be an E.
Oh, sure.
I don't know why. I think because when I wrote it, I don't think I even realized I was an open D. I think I was just fooling around, you know.
Oh yeah.
Just one of those. I was probably putting strings on or something,
Sure.
and I just happened to find that chord progression.
Right.
When I was sending it out, and I never stopped to learn what key it was in. Oh, no. I just knew how it went, and I recorded it on my phone. And I sent it to an accordion player. I'm like, I really need just like this droning accordion in this end part, blah, blah, blah. She's like, what key is it in? I guess I don't know the answer to that.
Well, you got all of them. Just play something.
There's only 12 notes. It's bound to be one of them. Right? But yeah, it is in the key of E. There's, 3.5 chords in it, but it's a pretty song, man.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, I was going to say that it's if you were to play open E, then you'd have to go up and up.
Yeah.
And instead you get to go down and then capo. And it probably saves your strings a lot of
I mean, and
the guitar tension.
I tried playing it just in E, and I don't like, the voicings are different.
Yeah.
So I don't like the way those sound. There was just something about that tuning with the capo there and the way the notes sounded to me that I liked.
Yeah. Yeah. The great thing about the capo is when you can move it anywhere and find that
dude.
the resonance.
The beauty of the capo is that you can play everything in the key of G, man. I mean,
Right. That's why they call it.
that's where all those notes are. That's all in the key of G.
Yeah.
So let's just play it in G. You put me in the key of A, I'm not so good. Unless I have a capo.
Unless you're got a capo. Yeah.
Right.
Well, speaking of guitars too, let's talk about this Takamine that you got right there because you got a bunch of signatures on it.
Yeah,
That's
I bought
pretty cool.
this in 98.
Whoa.
98, brand new.
Long while
you
ago.
can see if I hit the light just there. She's all cracked to hell.
Oh yeah.
I bought it brand new the day it hit the floor.
Whoa.
And I mean, matter of fact, I was thinking about it, I think, last night because I don't even take it out of the case very much. I am extremely fond of this guitar, and I mean, it's just got this big, it's just a big sounding guitar. That's a higher end Takamine, and it doesn't. It just doesn't ring like this thing. And it's from years and years of gigs and smoke and drinks and songs. And what that does is it vibrates the wood. A lot of companies now they have these machines that they stick these guitars in and it vibrates that wood. And it actually changes the way the instrument sounds. So if you have an old instrument that's been played a lot, it will always be louder. It will always sound better. If you take a Martin, brand new Martin sounds like garbage. But play it for 10, 15, 20 years, and now it sounds like a Martin. It's why the old Martins are worth so much because they sound so good. Anyway, I bought this, and as hard as it might be to believe, Scott, I used to drink a lot. So I didn't take real good care of it, but I bet you, without exaggeration, I bet I did 1,000 jobs on this guitar.
Oh, sure.
And
it's only 5 years worth.
Yeah. You're playing your cards right, son. And in the meantime, I was having people sign it. So it originally started out as just like my favorite songwriters. John Prine, Steve Earle, Lyle Lovett, Joe Ely, Guy Clark, John Hyatt, this is Chris Christopherson, who I have no problem saying I think is the finest songwriter that has ever walked the planet.
Wow.
That guy writes 3-minute movies. You close your eyes and you can see what he's singing, which is brilliant. This is actually, I went to get Willie Nelson to sign it. And I ran into Paul English, who was Willie's drummer forever. He's passed away now. But there's a song, at the airport in Atlanta, they refused to let us board the plane at all. Me and Paul. And this is Paul. Wow. And then this is Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, which someday I will tell you a wonderful story about getting Stephen Stills to sign your Takamine.
Yeah.
My brother has it on tape.
Really?
And at some point through that whole thing, my brother goes, before he started taping, he goes, Doug, please, Doug, don't knock out Stephen Stills. Please don't hit Stephen Stills. And I didn't have to hit Stephen Stills, but he was a jerk. He was just a jerk. I still really think Helplessly Hoping's a doggone fine song, or a Treetop Flyer or any of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, dude. So I really like Stephen Stills, and I just think he's a jerk, but I got him to sign my action. He didn't sign one other autograph that night, so I felt pretty lucky after.
Dang.
But yeah, in the meantime, it's cracking. You can push on different parts, and they move. I wish it was in better shape now, but it's got the old digital preamp, which is Yeah, that's that. I showed this guitar. Yeah, where were you at? Yeah, there it is. Oh, darn it. There it is. Which way am I going? God, this is so confusing, Scott Kirby. There it is.
We'll put that there.
And that, I mean, it's got reverb, built-in reverb, and an EQ and all this stuff.
Jeez.
A friend of ours said, you know the problem with that guitar? Sounds like everything except the guitar because of that stupid preamp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't like the preamp, but...
Would Tuck say that?
Yeah. He's also the one who said, you want a preamp? Get that one with the 3 sliders, the brown one.
Yeah.
And I finally bought, not too long ago, I found an 89 or 87 Tak. The original, whatever it is, the EF, whatever, 314 or something. The legendary one, the Time guitar.
Oh, okay. Sure.
The Time guitar. And I got it for $300. Cool. Somebody didn't know what they had. And it's got the 3 sliders. And he ain't lying, man. That guitar will bury either one of these guitars. It just sounds beautiful. So, but I can't take it anywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Of course you can't. Of course you can't.
Yeah, I can't because what do you think you are, Tuck Pants?
Right.
You hear it. I used to get it all the time when I first started playing.
Sure.
And I'm not going to be the guy caught playing a black Tak. Jesus, no.
Yeah, because then you'd have to, get bone spurs.
Yeah. Can you play Time? Tuck plays Time.
I know you know it.
Yeah, right. You know how it goes. It goes like this. Yeah, I know. No, but it's a great guitar. And and that really is the reason I won't take it because I don't want to. People know that I'm friends with Tuck or whatever, but that I really respect him a bunch, and so I'll take all kinds of heat for it. I just ain't gonna do it.
Yeah,
I ain't doing it.
I had a black guitar once.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd that go for you? Well, yeah, because you're tied to Tuck at the hip too, aren't you?
I mean, it's fun,
How many people a week ask you, how's Tuck doing?
Quite a few. I mean, I shouldn't say quite a few because I haven't typically seen that many people per week in the last year or so.
But they seem to think because you know them or you're friends with them that you guys are like...
We're having hour-long conversations every other...
Over a Merlot,
Yeah, exactly.
Drinking Merlot,
we're discussing the finer things of life,
let me tell you this story about this time I played down in Baraboo.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it because I get it all the time. And I mean, I'm friends with Tuck, but we've never been like really close friends. We're just friends, I hold him in high regard. But yeah, I hold him in high enough regard. I can't take that black Tak outside of my hometown area.
Yeah. Yeah. No, mine was a court guitar.
Oh, I had a court.
And it was decent. I had because what's the thing that you like best about the Takamine guitar?
Well, there's a couple things. I like, as a rule, I think they sound better than most guitars. My favorite thing about them is they're tough. I mean, I did teach myself how to play, and I play hard, way harder than I need to, or squeeze the strings too, and I can't change that. That's how I learned. I've tried to change it, and I can't. And it's not uncommon to see me wailing away on a guitar. And there's other guitars I've played, expensive guitars, pricey guitars. And I just, as soon as I grabbed them, I felt like I was going to break them. Oh. And the Taks, this thing is living proof. That is a tough son of a gun of a guitar. And, it still stays in tune. It still sounds, the electronics never go bad. And that has always been the deciding factor for me is it's a guitar that you could play. you can take it out and play it, and it ain't gonna let you down.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I ended up with that Cork guitar, because, when you run into, say for instance, you have a Taylor and something in the expression system goes wrong, it's their proprietary way of making so you have to find a specialist who, or send it to California to get it repaired.
And with these, I just pull that out. Hey, my preamp broke. Can I borrow one or whatever?
You just put a new one in there. Huh?
Stick a new one in. They're interchangeable on the Toks.
Oh, well, and that's why they made the bolt-on necks on fenders and whatnot.
Right.
Hey, your neck goes bad, just put a new one on.
See, but and that's another thing with these, like that, the preamp in this Brown guitar. That's a cool tube preamp. So there's an actual tube in there.
Cool.
So it's got, and you can dial in how much of the tube you want to use, how much of that sound. So you can get an extremely warm, woody sounding guitar. And there's a which you wouldn't think you want, but there's a mid-range boost. And then because of the cool tube, you get specific instructions. This is how you set your guitar. So you'll read guys who go, you can't get that guitar to sound good. Yeah, you can if you read the directions. You start out and you take your lows and your highs and you turn them all the way off and you jack your mids all the way up and you just play and you just keep turning that knob until you hear the frequency you want. And then you mix them all in. Then you turn your cool tube preamp up and you're like, holy cow, this sounds like a good guitar.
This is a fantastic
instrument. This is wonderful.
Just listen to that guitar.
I mean,
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I've tried other kinds. I can't play them. I had an Alvarez. I threw that thing. I mean, I hate it. Yeah, I hate it. I went to see Pez playing a Gibson one time. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Right?
And it didn't even sound right. It's, not that it's a bad guitar, just they don't sound the same.
Yeah.
Toks are well known for their preamps, and I just think they sound better and they take a beating.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say that one. Never mind.
Well, it's important when you're doing 200 shows a year.
Yeah.
You got to have a reliable tool for the job.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. I mean, and if people don't want to spend money on gear, I don't like spending money on gear. I like buying gear, but I don't like how much it costs. But the thing is, so you pay X amount of dollars for that guitar, but you're making money off of that guitar.
Right.
If that's how you're making money, I think you owe it to yourself to, one, make your job as easy as possible by having a playable instrument.
Right.
And two, do anything you can do to help, give people a reason to come and see you.
Yeah.
And if your guitar sounds like cats fornicating, they're not coming, man.
Oh, yeah. That's not even like a journey towards the perfect tone, that's
Well, there is no perfect tone, Scott. The perfect tone is the one that's in your head, and you'll never find it.
Yeah.
We've all tried forever to find that tone.
Yeah.
You'll never find it. You'll think you have it, and then you'll hear something that you don't like, and then you'll buy a different guitar or a different amp or a different microphone.
Yeah.
So unless you're paying $7,000 for a Telefunken microphone, you're kind of at the mercy of what you can afford.
Yeah. Well, in that way, a Takamine almost seems like an SM58. It's durable and it's going to take a bullet and keep working.
You could rob a bank with a 58, dude. You could. You could execute war criminals with a 58. Just go clunk them. How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah.
You can't hurt a 58. Dude. The best microphone I ever had was an EV I think it was a 457. Old. You can't get the good ones anymore unless you buy them used. But God, that thing was fantastic. Drop it once. Just go ahead because it ain't ever going to work again. And it's a high-dollar microphone.
Right.
But you could throw a 50. I know that you can do it. Yeah. You could throw a 58 against a brick wall,
Back the semi up over the top.
And it's happy. It's like, bring it.
It's like,
come on.
I love the rhythm of the tires.
Bring it to me.
Surround me.
Yeah, you can't hurt them. And that's kind of how these are. There's a friend of mine in Shawano, Michael McGee, who's a good singer, good guitar player. And we have the Takamine Taylor battles all the time.
Sure.
I might just come to the dark side. Absolutely not.
No, I won't do it.
I love my Taylor. And he invited me to an open jam. And I had my guitar in the car. And I don't do open jams. I don't get it. Yeah. It's just not my bag, The only reason that I'm here is because I like the format of it where it's just two musicians sitting around bullshitting and playing some songs,
Yeah.
But I went just because he's a nice guy. And he's like, Doug, come on up and play. And I'm like, well, let me go get my guitar. No, here. Play my Taylor. Yeah. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but that's how I heard it,
I polished it.
And I'm like, I don't want to break your guitar, man, because I'm a banger, It's like, you ain't going to break it. And that thing sounded really, really good. But I was scared I was going to break it the whole time, man. I love the way they sound. I think they're beautiful. It's just not my bag. Not for me.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know what you like and what you don't like and what's going to work and what's not going to work. And if it ain't broke, why fix it, right?
Yeah. And you play a lot, after a while, you hear the way certain things sound, or you feel the way certain things feel. And that's what you get comfortable with. That's what makes you sound like Scott Kirby, right? You know? And, I never got to worry about anybody buying this because ain't nobody going, boy, I hope it sounds like Kroening.
Well,
they're just not,
There are probably people out there that are thinking that, actually.
I don't know, man. Yeah, and they're all wearing hearing aids.
No.
I gotta, I'm the only solo guy out there with a voice like a frog. When I had my radio show, I always said I'm the guy that sounds like a frog.
Yeah.
And to this day, and I quit doing that 2 years ago, and to this day, you're the guy from the radio. I am. Nobody sounds like you. Yeah, I know. Well, they could if they smoked 5 packs of cigarettes a day for 20 years and, drank until they about died. They could sound just like me.
I think there's more left in there.
Yeah. And I'm just fortunate enough that I can still manage to croak them out. I've actually had a cold. My nose is still kind of runny. It's not the COVID, but I don't know if it's allergies or what. But like Sunday, I couldn't even talk. So you talk about a guy nursing his voice back, Well,
that's really why I waited the extra hour.
Is that why? Well, it helped. I really, Kirby, you got me covered like a blanket. Thank you, sir.
We're on the level. Level
on the level, bitches. Yeah. So, and I my whole life I battled with vocal issues. When I was younger, I didn't have monitors. When you can't hear yourself, you sing loud.
Yeah.
And I would sing, and I have witnesses to this. I would sing so hard as a kid, 21 to 24. My throat would bleed, and I would take Chloraseptic.
Oh, yeah.
And spray it in there to numb everything and just keep right on going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't think I was, well, I wasn't. I wasn't even 40 years old when I got the throat cancer, which was, everybody goes, well, did that get you to quit smoking cigarettes? My cancer wasn't caused by cigarettes. My cancer was caused by alcohol and vocal trauma.
Sure.
And so then,
Wow.
and they told me, because they took a tumor right off my vocal cord, and I had all the radiation and all that happy stuff. And they told me, you'll probably never talk again. And my voice came back different than it was. Personally, I like it better now than I did pre the trauma. It's just got, to me, if I'm listening to it, it's not so clean and coarse, boy, And then, not too many years later, I lost my voice for a year. Like, I could only whisper for over a year. So,
Cool. How'd that go for you?
Well, it was horrible. It was terrible, man.
You did a lot of private parties and supper clubs.
I was a mime.
You were a mime.
Yeah, I was the world's only guitar playing, singing mime.
Yeah.
But no, because I had the cancer. If I got a vocal issue, I can call, and my specialist will take me in. And they're looking at me, and they're running, all the shit down my nose, and your orifices are covered,
Right.
and they can't find nothing, like nothing. And he's finally like, I don't know, Doug. I think you have thrush.
Thrush?
Yeah, which is like a yeast thing in your throat.
Whoa.
Common with babies. I got no fucking thrush.
Babies.
Well, what had happened is, so at the time I was giving guitar lessons, I had like 50 students a week, and I was in a very small, probably a 6x10 room. Mm. And kids are purveyors of disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, if the rats wouldn't have brought the Black Plague, the children would have. I mean, kids carry
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm in this little tiny room, and I'm thinking that's where I'm getting it from. I'm getting sick all the time. Well, I'm sitting in there, and I'm teaching a student an E chord, and I'm like, do you smell that? Kid's like, no.
I didn't fart.
But it smelled like something rotten.
Yeah.
And next kid come in, I'm like, what is, and I'm checking my garbage. I mean, I could not figure out what it was. And nobody smells it but me. Pretty soon my nose, this nostril starts to run, and it's just gross. It's thick and gross. Yeah. And I go to the doctor, and I had an extremely bad sinus infection. It went up, and it caused me to have an infection in my mouth, in the roof of my mouth. It was really, really bad. And so I'm on antibiotics. At the same time, I got an ear infection, which I get, since I was a little kid, I get an ear infection twice a year, spring and fall, and bronchitis, spring and fall. And so I got all this going on, And then the infections all went away, and my voice followed. And doctor couldn't find nothing. So I went down to the hippy dippy health store,
Yeah.
and I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, you been sick? Yeah. He goes, what kind of medicine they got you on? I said, well, I can't take penicillin, I'm on antibiotics and whatever. He's like, they gave you too many antibiotics. I'm like, yeah, okay, sunshine. You and your hippy dippy. And he gave me a bottle of colloidal silver and some probiotics. He said, take these home, take them. And within 2 days, my voice was back.
Jeez.
So they had given me so many antibiotics, because different doctors, They had given me so many antibiotics that it took away all the stuff that I needed. And literally within 2 days, my voice was back. And now I won't, it freaked me out. I won't take antibiotics. But if I get sick, I will get a bottle of colloidal silver. And I'm telling you, and anybody that wants to think I'm crazy is welcome to think I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But it'll knock it out of you. It's what they used before there were antibiotics.
Okay.
That's what they use. And all it is it's literally silver, minute, 30 parts per million is the good stuff, in water.
Huh.
And you take it home and you take a drink. Well, you're supposed to take a tablespoon, but I want it gone. Whatever I got, I want it gone. I heal myself the way I misbehaved. I want it gone. Anyway, you hold it under your tongue. And if you, ear infection, sinus infection, you got bronchitis, 2 days, 3 days, and you will notice a difference. Wow. And I do more than you're supposed to. The only thing you want to watch out for, I told my dad, and he was like, well, I'll just drink it every day. I'm like, well, you can't do that because you will turn blue. Because the silver can't get out of your system. So if you get too much in, it'll come to the top of your skin, and you'll have a blue tint to your skin. But you got to do a lot of it.
You got to really, really pound it.
Yeah, you got to be trying. If it's coming into Halloween, you got to start about May. And then you get a white hat, you're Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to go away.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's true story, man. So, yeah, I've had vocal trauma forever. So I'm 52 years old, and I feel like I'm really, really lucky. I got, and I ain't beating a dead horse, but I got sober 4.5 years ago. And since then, I just 100% feel like I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet. It made a dramatic change in every single aspect of my life. So to still be sitting here talking to you, playing my guitar and singing, and just having a good time, talking about this musician stuff, which is why I wanted to come and do this anyway. I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to do that. I'm extremely thankful to the universe for doing this for me.
And so are we.
Well, I appreciate it.
What? You got another song in there, I bet, huh?
I think I got one more for you, Scott.
All right. Well, I was going to say something about taking up your whole night here, but it might appear as though we have done that successfully.
So the story about this one is as follows, and I'll make it as quick as I can. As they mentioned before, it's so rare to hear Doug not talking.
Yeah.
I had a long-term relationship with a real good girl, and I jacked it up, and she's a real good friend of mine. The ship has sailed as far as all that goes, but it's good to have her as a friend, and she probably on her own too did enough to keep me out of the dirt. So my behavior was real bad, which again hard to believe, and it ended up costing me a lot more than that relationship, but that was one of the things. And at some point I decided I was going to write a song and get my girlfriend back. Well, and I was like, this is such a pretty song. She does it, it's because she's cold and heartless and not because I'm a jerk.
How'd that go for you?
Well, if you ever find yourself in trouble with your girlfriend, I got a song I'll sell you. Because it is a pretty song. You know how things work out. At the time, you're like, no, it's so bad. And then a few years later, you're like, that was probably really good. That it all worked out the way it did. You end up in a different place, and a lot of times it's a good place or even a better place. So, but I still think it's a pretty song. So I'll do this one, and we'll get the hell out of here, man.
And what's this one called, Doug?
This is called Living Time.
Living Time.
And it's meant to be just a really simple singy song. So that's what it is. I said, lady, listen one more time to thoughts I'm thinking in my mind. Words will be so hard to find. I roll my reasons into rhyme. I had to take a second glance when we first met by circumstance. From the darkness to the dance, telling tale of true romance. And I'll walk with you through dark and dusty valleys, and I'll kiss you in the early morning sun. Hold your hand and cherish your heart always. And I love you until my living time is done. Truth is plain and clear to see. A heart that's shared by you and me. Simple as a rhyme can be. Like A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. And I'll walk with you through dark and dusty valleys, and I'll kiss you in the early morning sun. Hold your hand and cherish your heart always. And I love you till my living time is done. Yes, I love you till my living time is done.
Awesome, awesome. As the old man would say, tunes by Doug.
Tunes by Doug.
Tunes by Doug.
It's our ceremonial greeting. Tuck Pence, tunes by Doug.
Well, man, what a treat it was. I'm hoping, first off, just thanks for sticking it out with me here. Appreciate that. Obviously, coming all this way to be on the program and then all that sort of stuff was delayed, and I'm gonna have some stuff to figure out here on my end. But I appreciate you for like I said, sticking it out and persevering with me. And folks out there,
I sincerely thank you for having me here, man. This was fun.
This was so cool.
I don't get to sit around with other music guys and just shoot it and talk smart and have fun. So this was really, really a good time.
Thanks so much. Absolutely, yeah, really stoked, and even more so because, as you're saying, so many times we're caught up in the whole not rat race or whatever, but in the gig life or whatever it may
Yeah.
be, we don't, and you don't get necessarily a chance to showcase your original music in all those circumstances. And yeah, people know you, but do they know that you got this whole collection of original tunes? Maybe
Sure.
some of them do, sure. But
and the other thing is, for me, it's nice because I'm not pushing nothing. I'm sooner or later I'll get this record. I get that done, and I'm not really looking for gigs. I got a lot of gigs, and I'm not booking as much as I could, but I'm still booking. So, I don't have to come here and behave myself or whatever.
Yeah.
And be like, you should really book me.
play my record. Play my record.
Yeah, I don't need to do that. So again, man, it's one of the reasons that I came on is because I think you're doing something that's really, really cool. I don't think as a local musician, okay, I don't think local musicians get to spend enough time talking, because
there are people out there that would disagree, Doug. First hour when we couldn't hear him.
I'm not talking about me, man. Come on, man. I'm not talking about me. No, I don't think people get to hear how they feel and what they think. They do, you're a human jukebox, and
when you're standing there, you're like, geez, I better not, because that kills the vibe, and they don't want to hear it anyway.
Right. Right.
They want to dance.
And every single musician in the world has people that follow them and come to their gigs, and I think we have all, especially those of us who have done it a lot, we got some good stories, man. We can have fun and we can be funny and whatever else.
Yeah.
I just think it's really cool to have that opportunity, and so I sincerely appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this, we got to jam down at the Rock and Merrill last summer, and it's a totally different bag,
Yep.
Just like we're talking about. But this was a real treat for me, and I hope folks out there enjoyed it as well. Thanks for sticking with us, and have a great night. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other, and buy Doug's CD when he puts it out.
It ain't gonna happen for a long time. And when it comes out, I'm gonna give that son of a bitch away just to piss everybody off.
Take my money. No, you keep it.
No, keep your damn money, kid.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see if yours comes out or Tuck's comes out first.
Oh, mine will be out before Tuck's. Come on. I've been waiting for his next CD since Moby Dick was Caviar, man.
Oh, that's a new one.
No, you did.
Yeah. And then the only other thing is if they're finding you online, you have a music page. Where are they going to find that?
I don't even have a music page. I took it down. I had one forever.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just kind of took it down. I think when the COVID came around, I took it down.
Okay.
Especially at first, it was such a, do you play, do you don't? If you play, is everybody going to hate you? If you don't play, are they going to hate you?
Yeah.
So I think I just took it down, and I generally will post where I'm going to be. If you check out my face plant page.
Okay.
I usually give people a couple days notice anyway.
Sure. Better than me.
Usually, Scott. Not always.
Not always. Cool.
But usually I try and let people know.
Yeah.
But come on out and come up and talk. I like meeting people. Don't be a jerk. Don't be a jerk.
Like right in the middle of a song, is that when I should come up, Doug?
That's exactly. Yeah. You should come up to me right in the middle of a song, especially like if I'm singing something that's really hard to sing, some Uriah Heep or something. Yeah. Come up right in the middle of that and ask me, questions like, well, I mean, how it goes, right? Yeah, I do. Well, can't you just play it or something? No. Well, what songs can you play? What song would you like to hear? Do you know any like Blake Shelton or something? No. Well, what do you know? Yeah, don't do that. Please don't do that.
Oh, that'll be another story. That's what that'll be.
That's a book right there, my friend.
Well, what a treat, man. Well, I wish you all the best. So take care of yourself too, and safe travels on the way back home tonight. And I'm sorry we didn't get you out of here earlier, but I'm so grateful to have you here.
I'm not mad.
Appreciate you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, and yeah, if folks haven't seen the Tuckumentary, they were asking about it the other week if it's available on YouTube.
I'm trying to get it on YouTube. Here's what happened. I uploaded it to Facebook, which was no easy feat in and of itself. And then I went to put it on YouTube a few months ago, not even that long ago, when people started going, hey, you should put that on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
And my computer says it's not a valid file.
Huh.
So I think what I had going on there, because I did an hour and a half documentary in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And so what I think I had going on there is there's probably some instability in the computer at this point. But sooner or later I will. I'm trying to get Facebook to, because I can download it from Facebook, but it doesn't come through in high def. It's real cloudy and foggy. So I don't know if I need a better internet connection or what I need. Because I got a pretty good internet connection, but there's got to be a reason. So I'm trying to get that figured out. Once I get it figured out, I'm absolutely gonna post it on YouTube. I'm gonna post it everywhere.
All right.
So yeah, I'm actually pretty proud of it. It turned out really good.
Yeah.
A lot of good people involved in that. So that was fun.
Yeah.
It was stressful as hell, but it was fun.
There could be a second one anytime soon. Huh?
No, man.
Take two.
No, you do. You tell everybody I need that by Friday. You know, it goes on in 3 weeks. I need it by Friday, and the week of where you got to have it on the air, they're still going, hey, I'll send you some stuff. So I was
Friday morning.
I was putting it together as this stuff was coming in. I'm like, well, I got this. This'll fit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A labor of love. Probably doesn't even begin to describe.
It's pretty entertaining, and that's not because of me. That's just because of all the people involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, right on, man. We are glad to, and I know he's mentioned it numerous times, but yeah, Tuck just thought that was the coolest thing.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's cool.
Right on. Well, hey, bye.
Dominus ominous.
Drive fast, take chances. 55's a drag. If they ask to see your license, they ask to shoot their gun.